Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Media in Holistic Health, Wellbeing and Sustainable Development 2022 to 2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals SDGs 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start with today's session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's session. As we know that we are taking up daily one movie as a case study to see how it is, how these media, content or media as such, through various forms has been impacting and reflecting on the society. So this is the third session where we are taking up. Today we are looking at one of the movie, Not Okay. So let's watch the trailer and get into details. Of Almighty, we shall continue with today's session. As we know that we are
Danny,
Yeah.
had a chance to read that article you sent me.
What'd you think?
You don't feel like it comes off a little tone deaf, offensive even?
I don't feel like you take me seriously as a writer.
That's because you're not a writer. You're a photo editor.
Okay. Have you ever wanted to be noticed so badly? Hi, Mom. You wanna hang out tonight? Oh. You didn't even care what it was for. Colin!
Oh shit, what up, honey?
Danny, from work.
Danny.
Yo, Colin, I love your videos, man.
Thanks, B. So, what are you?
I'm a writer. I'm looking to develop my work by traveling. Going to Paris for it.
Shit. Hey, get pics.
I'm gonna get lots of pics. Yeah, I'll throw them all up on the gram.
Right.
Shit. Hey, Mom! I got invited to a writer's retreat in Paris. Yes, really. Starting my morning right. Now, where's my baguette?
have some breaking news at this hour. A string of terrorist attacks struck Paris this morning, leaving dozens dead and many more injured.
Fuck.
Flight 2677 now arriving.
Danny? She's okay!
We are here with the girl of the moment. You've been blowing up our Insta feed. Speaking of bombings.
Really glad you're not dead.
Me too.
Isn't she so strong, everybody?
Oh my god, you're the girl from the Paris attacks.
Let's not forget the signature red beret.
Hi, I'm Danny.
Rowan, welcome to group.
We're all survivors here. Do you want to share?
Oh.
If you're not okay, that's okay. The internet likes to turn victims into villains.
Oh no, doesn't seem to be happening to me.
You should be prepared if it does. We need to talk. Be careful what you fucking wish for.
So what, are we supposed to feel bad for you?
So this is Not Okay is a 2022 American satirical black comedy drama film written and directed by Quinn Shepard. It stars Zoe Ditch as a young woman who desperately wants to become famous and beloved on the internet. Succeeding when she pretends to be a survivor of a bombing. It also starts Mia Isaac. Not Okay was released on July 29, 2022 by Searchlight Pictures on Hulu. It received generally positive reviews from critics. A trigger warning at the beginning that mentioned an unlikable female protagonist as a possible issue for viewers, intended as commentary on some viewers at test screenings, questioning why a movie with such a character had been ever made, generated some controversy when viewers took it as seriously intended. So let's look at the story. Danny Sanders is an aspiring writer who works as a photo editor for Depravity, an online magazine in New York City. So struggling with both her job and making friends, Danny lies about attending an upcoming writers' retreat in Paris to impress her co-worker Colin, a social media influencer. Danny spends the next week posting edited pictures of herself in Paris from her Brooklyn apartment and creates a website for the fake retreat. She gains a modest following on Instagram as a result, which includes Colin. A few days later, Danny posts an edited photo of herself in the Arc de Triomphe, but a few minutes later, several major Persian landmarks, including the Arc, are bombed by the terrorists. To uphold her lie, Danny claims she witnessed the bombing and fakes returning from Paris, joining up her with the parents at the airport. With her parents, co-workers, and online following believing she is a survivor of the terrorist attacks, Danny immediately garners widespread attention and sympathy, leading Danny to learn into the lie. At a trauma support group, she meets and befriends teenage anti-gun activist Rowan Aldrin, a school shooting survivor who has a large social media following. Inspired by Rowan, Danny writes an article about her experience of being in a terrorist attack. This article, which includes the hashtag #IamNotOkay, goes viral with Rowan's help and propels Danny to fame. Danny grows closer to Rowan, becoming a confident and sisterly figure to her. Danny is invited to an influencer party with Colin, where they have a brief sexual encounter, which is unpleasant for Danny and requires her to take plan B. She realizes the life of a fame she wanted isn't desirable as simply being a good person. So Danny is invited to speak at the rally with Rowan. When counter protesters set off fireworks, Rowan suffers a PTSD attack and is hospitalized. Danny, who has been having recurring hallucinations of the Paris bomber, feels increasingly guilty about deceiving Rowan. Meanwhile, Harper, a skeptical co-worker of Danny's, uncovers her deception and gives Danny an ultimatum. Either Danny comes clear on her own terms, or Harper will announce the fraud to the world. Danny reluctantly decides to publish a short apology detailing the truth and promising to change. This derails her life quickly. She becomes an online pariah and is fired from her job, has her friendship with Rowan tarnished, is forced to move in with her parents after her address gets leaked by online harassers, and she and her parents receive death threats and harassment in real life. Danny soon deactivates all of her social media accounts. A month later, Danny is attending a support group for individuals who are victims of online shaming, where she is encouraged to make amends in those she hurt. Danny attends a spoken word event where Rowan speaks about how Danny exploited her and that she will never be okay with what Danny did, cementing their destroyed friendship, which impressed Danny and earns cheers from the crowd. Upon realizing that amends would be for her own benefit rather than for Rover's, Danny quietly exits the theater. So this is how, a woman who is willing to become popular has taken support of a life, and how she became, famous. And finally, when the truth came out and how she suffered. So this is how, we can see many people ruin their life, because they want to become popular. And we see on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, there are a lot of videos which are, unacceptable, which are, even violating the standards, norms, morals, ethics. And to get more followers, they are indulging on, most of these unacceptable things and vulgar videos, and a lot of videos. Because of that, people who are watching are also, provoked to take up such things, and also children, youth are also getting spoiled because of such. And more people are getting, involved in making such videos and recordings that is creating, spoiling the society at large. And, many social media who talk about community guidelines, they don't even bother to take them out because, I personally seen many, because when we are doing some work, suddenly something pops up and Facebook keep recommending or all this nonsense. And I tried many times reporting to even Instagram, Facebook, and other various social media platforms, but they, the reply is just block that user so that you will not receive more notification. This is a stupid thing that social media giants do. They wantedly recommend some unwanted, stupid videos to us. And, when we report back, they say they do not violate any community guidelines. This is how, these, especially these social media giants spoil the society, community, and they are the real culprits behind all such, odd things that are happening in the society, because they go viral and they generate a lot of traffic and they generate a lot of business for them. So they don't bother. Only they, certain small videos, those who don't really, are very good for society, but often they crack down on small, small things saying that you have violated community guidelines. But there are lakhs and lakhs of millions and millions of videos. Those are violating the community guidelines, even though are violating the social norms. But these social media giants, they never take down on them unless and until, something serious happens. So this is highly biased, highly, slanted media, for the sake of business, for the sake of, traffic. They are notorious criminals who, at the sake of, at the cost of society, at the cost of lives, also continue to foster or nurture such activities on their platforms. So there are many such examples in real life, though this is a cooked up story, just not a real life story. But we have seen many such relevant stories also happen and are happening. So this is one just a case study that where we can see, overnight trying to use social media is not at all, a viable or a sustainable practice, because overnight anything can happen, and those are very popular, and suddenly you start losing your followers and you start losing your likes, and even these social media giants manipulate, and they wantedly remove subscribers, and even if you like also, just visit after some time and you'll see your like or forward doesn't even actually register. Of course, they say there are a lot of technical problems, but they wantedly, certain limit, certain accounts, and those who are paying only, they get a lot of accounts. Of course, there are different dimensions. It's not truly, 100% on that side or this side, but there are certain things which, go viral, and there are various strategies also. Even that has become a great employment for nowadays, and social media, how it is being used for influencing the voters or the public, and it's a great a source of employment also for the younger generations, as well as for various industries. And we were talking about this at the beginning of the film. Shepard added a warning to the viewers about things in the film that might make them physically or psychologically uncomfortable, including the flashing lights, themes of trauma, and an unlikable female protagonist. The later item was the result of test screenings where viewers had indicated to her their bewilderment that someone would make a movie with such a main character. It was interesting to me that a large chunk of audience seemed genuinely upset by the fact that the film was about Danny, and so I just wanted to kind of poke off a little. So this was one of the viewers has indicated. And many viewers, however, took the notice as completely seriously intended. Women who watched the film complained about the warning on the Twitter, noting that the film centered around an unlikable men never seemed to be need such warnings. Shuja Haider, a senior editor of The Nation, said she watched the film determined to like Danny as a result of the warning, and did Gawker agreed to that Danny was, despite her actions, a relatively likable female protagonist, all things considered. It was the film itself that was unlikable. So that is a warning went wrong type of viral this weekend only goes to show that films about the ills of social media will always be 2 steps behind the real thing. So Lena Wilson of the New York Times found that the film succeeds to highlight some of the negative aspects of social media on people's mental health, and stated it manages to develop Zoe's Dutch character, notably across her mental health struggles, but said the movie lacks narrative finish. And Jennifer Green of Common Sense Media rated the film 3 out of 5 stars, complimented the depiction of positive messages, citing honesty and the move's take on negative aspects of fame, while noting the diverse representation across the characters. So if anyone wants to discuss on this, you are free to discuss. And actually, these sessions are meant for discussion. You can share your points, psychological basis or legal basis or social basis, economic basis. So this is not a one-way session as we thought planned, but no, we are not promoting much due to various engagements. But this was meant for common people, where they can share different angles of their, or their viewpoints on the movie. So if you would have any observations to be shared, you can unmute yourself and, you can share. On the previous movies, which was, the social isolation. And we had one more movie screen. So on 2 movies, if you want to discuss, you can discuss. On today's movie also, you can discuss. Otherwise, we can do one thing. Tomorrow, we can take it up 3 if possible. If anyone is not yet prepared. Okay, if there are no observations or queries, then we shall conclude it here.